we are going to discuss how to launch Google discovery campaigns. So discovery campaigns, as the name signifies, is mostly placed where audience are discovering new content. And this is essential for you to have your placement in Google discovery campaign type. When you say Google discovery, it is not a very popular campaign type like Google search or Google display, but Google discovery is a very powerful tool to identify new audiences in your industry. But this is not just used to identify new audiences. You can also target your existing customers while they are identifying new content. So where is this ad placed in Google discovery campaigns? The number one, the most important one in my opinion, is the YouTube home feed. So YouTube home feed is used widely across users. So this is used to discover new content, to understand which video to watch next. So when you look at your home feed, you understand that the content in your home feed is curated specifically for you. So you will see that the content on the home feed is very related to the channels that you follow, the interests that you have. If you are into fitness, then you would see a lot of fitness video. If you are into stockbroking, you would see a lot of stockbroking videos. So Google and YouTube understands what you really like. So having your ad out there while people are discovering and scrolling to find new content on YouTube home feed is a very effective placement to showcase your business or offering. So other than YouTube home feed, we also have the YouTube watch next, where YouTube suggests what to watch next. And right beside that, you would see the ad placement. So in Google discovery, it is only banner based. So it is only images that you can use in Google discovery campaigns. You cannot use videos in this format. So other placements within Google discovery are the Discover app itself. There is the Google Discover app, where it shows you new content, it shows you news articles, whatever that you are interested in. So in that app as well, which is default in Android, you would see the Google discovery placement. Other than that, an important placement is also Gmail. Earlier, Gmail was a separate campaign type altogether within display, but now it's part of discovery campaigns, where you can effectively place your ads when people are viewing their emails. So here's a quick example of what the Google discovery ad looks like. This particular placement is the YouTube home feed. So here you can see that right on top in the home feed, you can see that there is an ad. So it says the ad by Olympics. So it also shows the brand name which is promoting the ad, and you can look at that banner. So that banner will essentially take you to the site. So this will be an image only ad that you can see on discovery feed. So it's important to keep in mind that while using Google discovery campaigns, you might want to have images that have very short messages and convey the message in a very sharp and crisp manner. Because as you can see in the YouTube home feed, you don't really read too much text. You know how thumbnails work in YouTube videos. So you would want to actually consider it like a thumbnail and use minimal text, but a very visually appealing and catchy message. So now let's look at why you need to use Google discovery campaigns. The number one reason is that the discovery placement or the discovery campaign type has a reach of over 3 billion people. So that itself is a very wide audience base, and given Google's ecosystem, this is a very powerful tool, not just for brand awareness, but also for sales and traffic. So this is a very effective placement. Google discovery also has the second most visited website on the internet, which is YouTube. So through the power of YouTube and image ads, you can tap into that audience that are present within the placements, that is YouTube, discovery feed, and Gmail. So I think the most powerful placement within this is, of course, has to be YouTube, given the traffic that's coming out through that. So you can definitely tap into these aspects through the Google discovery campaign. And the second, like I mentioned, you can identify potential customers through that. So they might not be aware about your brand's existence at all, but through the YouTube home feed or through the other placements that are available, you can reach a whole new audience. And the third and most important part is also tap into the existing audiences. So you may have a very warm audience bucket, which you already have, like a audience list created. You can use that too for Google discovery campaign. So you can use an existing remarketing audience and show them your ads through the discovery placements. Coming to the types of targeting available within Google Discovery. The targeting options are quite similar to that available on display and video campaigns. So you can target via demographics, that is, which age group that person is present in, what is his parental status, did he graduate soon, did he recently move into a house. So based on the demographics, you can segregate and separate certain cohorts that are most important for your business, and basis that you can target them separately. The second one is custom, and this is one of my personal favorites, where you can enter certain keywords. You can enter what are the keywords that people are searching for. Say your audience is someone who's looking for a digital marketing course. You can enter keywords such as digital marketing courses online, free digital marketing course, or like Google's digital marketing course, whatever that is. Google will even give you suggestions on what keywords to enter. So you can put down the list of the keywords that people are searching on Google, and basis that you can put a custom list of audiences. It's not just restricted to this. You can also have people who are interested in these keywords. You can enter a list of websites that your potential customers are visiting. You can even enter certain apps they are visiting. So once you define your target audience and have this list, this comprehensive list of the websites, keywords, apps, then you can definitely use custom audience to effectively target the people that are looking out for your product. The third one is interest based, and it's quite self-explanatory, where you have a list of interests available on Google Discovery campaigns. So there are multiple interests. You will have to search if that interest fits your business, and basis that you can use a targeting. So it could be education, there could be a digital marketing interest, there could be technology interest. So there are multiple ones. You'll have to search the interest that fits your business. If that is available, you can definitely use a particular interest. And the fourth and one of the most important ones is audience targeting. So do you have an audience list? Do you have a list of people who visited your website in the last 60 days or 90 days? Or if you are a new business altogether, this might not be very effective, but in the long run, it will definitely be of use. So you can always set up an audience list, a self-populating audience list that will contain the people who have interacted with your business, taken certain action. So it could be someone who added to cart on your website, someone who viewed a certain page, someone who took certain action, probably added a product to a wish list. So all those audiences, you can create separate buckets of audiences and target them as remarketing, or you can create similar audiences out of those. So similar audience essentially means that you are telling Google that I want to identify people who are similar to these audiences, who have similar interests, similar purchase behavior, similar intentions. So Google will identify those people for you based on the audience list that you have provided. To get started with Google Discovery campaigns, there are a few prerequisites like most other campaign types. So one would be understanding your objective. So there are about 3 to 4 objectives that are available within the Google dashboard. So there you'll have to select which is the objective that you want to go forward. Is it sales? Is it lead generation? Is it traffic? So you'll have to define what is it that you want out of this campaign. What is your end goal out of this campaign? So once you define that, things are going to be pretty smooth. And from there, I'll show you how to launch a campaign on Google Discovery. The second one is a landing page. For Google Discovery campaigns, a landing page is a must. You'll definitely have to take people somewhere. So a landing page is super necessary to have a Google Discovery campaign. Of course, for this video, or if you want to launch a test, you can try out some other website, some random website that you pick up. You can try testing out. But if you want to spend money on it and see the effectiveness of the campaign, you would definitely want to have the website for your business, the landing page or the website for your business. The third one is banner assets. Google has given certain formats of what dimensions the images should be. So there are carousel posts, which is a series of images, like you would swipe right to go to the next image. So carousel post, as well as single banner images. So in single banner images as well, there are multiple formats. There are about 3 formats. One would be square, landscape, and a portrait dimension. So you can see that in the Google dashboard, and you will understand which are the banners required, which design should I get to test out my Google Discovery campaign. The fourth, and of course, a very, very, very important one, is a Google Ads account. So without a Google Ads account, of course, you cannot launch a Google Discovery campaign. So that is fundamental to this video, to launching any Google campaign for that matter. You would have to have a Google Ads account. The setup is quite simple and it is free to set up. You'll only have to pay once you get the ads running. So you'll have to set up your payment, and then once your ads run, it gets deducted from your account. So the fifth one is the audience setup. So this is most important when you want to actually have a remarketing list. So you could either upload a manual customer list. So if you have a customer list, that is people who have interacted with you, have purchased your product or added to cart, visited your website. If you have that list, you can manually enter that list, or you can automatically integrate the Google audiences through the tag manager, and Google will automatically detect people who are visiting your website, interacting with your business and landing page. So you can either do it manually through a custom list, or you can set up the Google audiences. And this is only necessary if you want to use remarketing or similar audiences. So this is not a compulsion, but if you want to use remarketing or similar audiences, you definitely want to have the audience setup done. That's mostly it from the prerequisite standpoint. I hope you are super ready and super energetic to get started with our first Google Discovery campaign. Let's look at the dashboard of Google Ads and get started. So let's quickly have a look at what the dashboard contains, how to actually launch a Google Discovery campaign. And by the end of this video, I'm sure you would have launched your first Google Discovery campaign. So let's quickly get started and see what are the steps needed to launch your Discovery campaign. So you can go ahead and click on the overview where you'll see the new campaign, or the other option which I prefer is click on the plus where I have a view of all the campaigns, and I can also launch a new campaign here. So here it's necessary for you to understand what your objective is, and if your objective suits a discovery campaign, or if it fits that discovery campaign type. So there are a few options where discovery campaigns are available. It is sales. So here you can see that a discovery campaign is available. Again, for leads, you can see that discovery campaign is available here too. For website traffic as well, there is discovery campaign type available. For all of the below ones, you cannot use a discovery campaign approach. So for brand awareness or app promotion, local store visits, and product and brand awareness, you won't be able to use a discovery campaign type, as that objective itself is not available. So let's go ahead and click on sales and see if we can drive conversions and sales through discovery campaigns. Like we discussed earlier, these ads will run on YouTube, Gmail, Discover, and other placements. So you can see that here Google itself says that you can get more sales with a visually rich, personalized ads that show across YouTube, Gmail, Discover, and more. So the main concept here is that your banners need to really stand out. The text mentioned there needs to really be readable and quite evident. I think a lot of this placement will go on the YouTube Discovery feed, that is the YouTube home feed. So you definitely want to make sure that it's quite visible there. My approach is always to make it look like a thumbnail, like a YouTube video thumbnail. You mostly use less text, but it needs to be very readable and it needs to have a clear, succinct message. So I'll go ahead and click on continue. And here we'll create the first discovery campaign. So here we'll enter our campaign name. So that will be Discovery Sales for Great Learning. And you might want to enter anything else that really wants to stand out. You basically need to look at the campaign name and understand what the campaign contains. So it could be, are you targeting a specific location or a specific subset, or what the course is regarding? Yeah, I'll mention the course. Speaking of that, digital marketing courses. So I'm promoting digital marketing courses here. So I might want to mention that in the campaign name. Probably if you want, you can mention the bid strategy as well. So this is completely up to you. Do you want to enter a date, end date, whatever that is will make your understanding easier when you look at the campaign name. So here the location, I'm going to keep it as Pan India, but you can look at separate locations. You can look at an advanced search. Is there a specific location that you have in mind? Do you want to add the locations? In bulk, you can even add a pin code, cities, countries. You can just, if you have a specific list of places where your business performs best, you can definitely add them in bulk, or you can search for them or have like a radius. This is basically to narrow down your targeting, but I prefer to keep it quite open and broad. Especially if you are just starting out, you should definitely try keeping it broad so that you understand which are the locations that perform best for you, and post that you will be able to scale. So again, you can select all countries and territories, or you'll just select it as India, and post that you can enter specific languages. Again, in this case, I would definitely want to keep it as all languages. That's because in India there are multiple languages. I don't want to target all of them and probably miss out on some. So I'll just keep it as all languages and let Google decide who's the best person for my ad. So post that, we come to the bidding, where we have a maximize conversion option by default. If I want to, I can select a target cost per action. So the target cost per action is something that you need to backtrack. Say you already know that in your ads, you're getting if I spend 1,000 rupees, I'm getting a revenue of 2,000. So the target cost per action is something that you need to define, probably backtrack basis your past performance. So you probably know that you're getting purchases at a cost per action of say 2,000 rupees. So you can enter that amount here, or put a slightly higher amount. Maybe you might want to put like 20% higher. So for you to understand what your cost per action is, you would want to basically understand your past history and add that number here. Say you are looking at a conversion of add to cart. You might want to look at what was your cost to add to cart from other platforms or other campaign types, and you can probably enter that number here. If you don't have a clue as to what your target cost per action is, you might want to put a ballpark figure or put Google's recommended number. An alternate as to what you can do is that you can leave it at maximize conversions, and probably post a week you will understand what is the cost per conversion that you're getting, which is essentially the cost per action. Once you get that number, you can probably shift this campaign to a target cost per action and cap it at that desired cost per action. So here you will have to select the conversion action that you are aiming for in this campaign. So I'll select website sale. So this is what was there by default in my ad account, but you will have to set it up in your Google Ads dashboard. What is it that the conversion event that you want to track? You will have to place that code on your website and set up that conversion event. So is it add to cart or view a certain page? Ensure that these conversion actions are set up in your Google Ads account, and through that you will be able to optimize the campaigns for specific conversion events. Here, coming to the budget, you can enter an amount that you have in mind. I'm going to put a very minimal amount since this is a test campaign. And when coming to the ad schedule, you can decide if you want the campaign to run throughout the week, or is it just certain days or certain time frames that work best for you. So you can select Monday to Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. Again, certain days and timings. So these are something that you can add. I prefer to keep it at all days and probably post a few weeks of the campaign running. You will understand which are the days where your conversions were higher, which are the timings when your conversion were higher, and post that you can take this call and probably edit the campaign and add an ad schedule to it. Coming to the start and end dates. So here I'm going to put it as 27th. That is the same day I will end the campaign so that I don't miss out on this. But if you don't have a campaign end date in mind, you can put it as none. if you think that this is going to be an ongoing campaign, or you don't know when you actually want to pause it, you don't know how it will perform, so you would want to keep it as none. But if you think that this is a test campaign, I'm just going to see how to launch the campaign, you definitely have to add an end date so that you don't forget to actually pause it. So this is just to double check to ensure that you don't unnecessarily spend your money. So this end date can also be added if it's a seasonal offer that you're running, or if you think that the campaign or a certain offer is ending, say 1 week from now, you can definitely put an end date to that as well. Coming to the campaign URL option, this is basically for your tracking, for you to understand what campaigns drove how much revenue. You can add UTM parameters here, which will essentially help you track on Google Analytics or whatever is your analytics platform. Through UTM, you will be able to understand which campaign drove how much revenue, what are the clicks, what is the bounce rate, and other metrics that is important for you. So for now, we will keep this as blank. This is not super important for us in this campaign, so I'm going to leave it blank. Content exclusions, this again says that they exclude most sensitive content, so this is not applicable. And here we are looking at the ad group name. So the ad group name, again, I will just mention it as digital marketing. And if I have a certain audience in mind which I'm going to target, I can mention the audience name as well. Say, for now, I'm just going to keep it as custom audience. I don't know which audience I'm actually going to use, but I'm going to keep it open for now. But yeah, once you decide the audience type or any other metric that you are looking at, then you can probably define that here. Are you going to target just women? Then you can say just women. So that is your approach to it. That I leave that completely up to you. And custom audiences. So here you can browse and create. So earlier I had created a custom audience. So that is already visible. I can still show you how to create a new one, a new custom audience. So I would say that this is digital marketing custom audience. So this will be people with certain interests or purchase intentions, or people who search for any of these terms on Google. So probably I'll keep it a little broader so that I don't restrict it to just people who searched on Google. So I'll search digital marketing course. So there's Digital Marketing Training Institute in India, digital marketing course in Bangalore, digital marketing diploma. So this is for you to identify and see which are the keywords that makes most sense to you, but this is completely up to you. There is no right way to do it. You just have to look at the keywords that make most sense. So I'm currently not adding the ones which say free. I think that they have a lower intent, but you can definitely try them out. There's no harm in broadening your audience. So that is completely up to you. And I'm just going to quickly add the different courses here. So I'm also adding location-based ones such as Hyderabad. So you never know, they might be interested in an online course. So I'm just going to add that. I don't want a free course for now. So this should be okay. So here I'll be able to understand the weekly impressions, gender, and other data surrounding my audience in this bucket. But here I'm not really able to see any number whatsoever. So I just want to try switching it to people who searched any of these terms on Google. If there is a better number. Yeah. So here I'm able to see weekly impressions. Probably this audience base is lesser, and a lot of people are searching for these terms on Google who are available in the Discovery network. So here I can see that I have about 100 million to 500 million weekly impressions. 63% of this audience, people who are searching for these keywords, are male, and 48% of them are within the 18 to 24 age bracket, and 89% non-parents. So this is just an audience insight for you to understand who exactly is your audience, what are the age groups. So Google itself is helping you define that. So we will go ahead and create this audience. I've added it here. So here again, if you are having a separate campaign for remarketing, say this campaign wasn't for new users, you're looking only at remarketing, that is people who visited your website and probably did not convert, so they definitely have that intent. You can have this ad group only for remarketing, that is you can show it to people who only visited your website, and here probably you might want to exclude the purchasers. So that is an approach that most people take, like it would be people who visited the website minus the people who purchased. So again, within remarketing, you can have different funnels. It can be people who visited the website and clicked on buy now button but did not purchase. So that is for you to define what exactly, which funnel approach do you want to take within remarketing. But this ad group that I'm launching now is only for new users. That's why I've used a custom audience. But if you're using remarketing, you can use a specific audience list and you can probably exclude your existing purchases. Even in this scenario, you might want to exclude your existing purchases. So what you can do through remarketing is you can also get similar audiences. So if your audience list is created, that is, if you tell Google that these are the people who visited my website, or your Google audiences are populated, then you can also create a similar audience here. So that would mean that Google will identify people who are very similar interests, similar behavior to the people who have already interacted with your business. So that makes it much more simple, right? So for now, I haven't populated my audience lists yet, so that is why it's not showing. But if you have populated your audiences, then you can use a similar audience as well for a new user. Here you can look at the detailed demographics and the interests. So here probably I can use social media enthusiasts, advertising, and no, I don't want to add advertising services. So this is based on your rationale. This is completely up to you. What interest do you think? Who could be your prospective buyers? If you think that there is a specific cohort which will convert if you use a specific messaging, that is, say for if you are an e-commerce store selling clothes, you might want to have kid specific messaging for new parents. So that is for you to define. If you're using interest and detailed demographic cohorts, you can try out different types of audiences as long as the messaging and the ads are different. So it is for you to decide who is that person who's likely to convert and what is it that communication or the offering that would interest him most. Say I'm targeting someone with just education as the interest, then I could probably speak about the relevance of digital marketing. So you know that someone who is, when I'm targeting a broad interest like education, it's not necessary that they know the importance of digital marketing or probably the ease of learning it or probably the scope of learning it. So in those scenarios, you might want to say something like the digital marketing industry is growing at X percentage or is a dash billion industry or whatever that number is. You can mention that and probably, so that when it comes to interest and demographic targeting, you can try out wider audiences as long as the messaging itself resonates with them. So as of now, I'm going to add social media enthusiasts. Is there something around digital marketing? I'll have to check that. So I'm going to leave it blank. So it's just social media enthusiasts and a custom audience that I'm using. So probably in my ad group name, I'll say custom audience and interest. So here we are about done with our campaign setup. We just have to set up the demographics. Earlier, while creating the custom audience, we understood some audience insights, some genders that are working well, some age groups that are working well, some parental status that are working well. So you can apply those insights over here if you want to. But for my case, I'm going to leave it broad. I don't know if there are parents who want to enroll their students into digital marketing courses. So I don't know what exactly is the audience insight completely yet. So I might want to run this campaign for some time and see which cohort, which demographic is performing well within this, and basis that maybe I will take a call. So here Google is suggesting an optimized targeting, and I will leave that on. Now all you need to do is create your ad. So there are two options here. You can use a carousel or a discovery ad. So carousel is essentially a series of images, that is one image followed by another and another. So it's about 4 images usually. So that is a different approach in carousel format. We will use a single image and see how that works. So here we'll use the Great Learning Digital Marketing Program URL, and we will have to add some images. Say you don't have any images. No problem. Google has solved this problem for you too. Google will scan your website and identify some images that could work for your ads. But ideally, it's suggested that you provide the images so that you can curate the right message and probably use images that are very visually appealing for your ads. So since I don't have any creatives now, I'm going to use some footage that Google has given me. So I'm going to use this, the Great Learning logo, as the logo. Google has identified that this is the logo. I'm going to select this. I know that this is quite blurred. I would ideally have to upload one manually. That would be better. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Yeah, and here you can see that the logo is present, crisp and clear. So I'm going to use this as the logo and select it. If I have another image, I can add that too. So I have one other landscape image which I'm going to use. So I'll use this as an image, and I can select the dimensions where this suits best. So this is one landscape image. In the square format, this doesn't work. Even in the story format or the portrait format as well, this doesn't seem to work. So I'm just going to use the landscape one, and probably other images I'll select what Google is suggesting. So I'll use one of these images. Not the best for an ad, but I'm going to use this as a test. So this should be okay. So Google has selected this for a landscape version. For square, what does it look like? So this doesn't look too appealing for a square format. So I'm just going to use the logo as well here and use it as a square. Again, I've selected 2 images now. So here, if you're looking at an education specific image, then you can use any of this. Probably if it's a square one, then you might want to adjust it a little bit. And for like a portrait sized one, you might want to again adjust it a bit to just make it look a little more appealing. So here you can see that you've selected 7 assets. I hope this is enough. Otherwise, you can even select some stock footage on digital marketing. So here are some creatives that might or might not work well for you. So you can select which ones sort of match your brand tonality, your brand visual. So here for a test, you can definitely use any of these and just adjust them. For square, I'm going to select it here. And for portrait, a little more. So you can also see that there's Shutterstock written right here. So you might not want to use that image, but I'm just going to use it for a test. So this looks good to go, and I'm going to quickly add a headline: Learn Digital Marketing. Digital Marketing course by Great Learning. So you can see that there's a 40 character limit, so I can't use this. Let me see if this works. Digital marketing class. So you can see what headlines work best for you. You can add up to 5 headlines and again up to 5 descriptions as well. So I'm going to use the same description for now, but ideally it should be much bigger. It should be much more descriptive. It should be about 90 characters. Let's see actually. We'll use a description from here. Learn from India's top 10 ranked business school and gain. So I've shortened it a bit so that it fits the 90 character limit. This looks good to me. Is there anything else that I can add? So probably this I can add as a headline. So you can basically edit these out and see what worked best for your description and make it a little more descriptive, just the core USPs of your program or whatever your offering is, and that should be enough. So here you can see what it looks like, what the headline and description looks like, and Google will provide a mix and match of your creatives as well as your headlines, descriptions, etc. Here I will use the Great Learning business name and add a tracking template. If you have it, you can use a URL suffix. Is there a UTM parameter? UTM parameter is essentially to track. It is something that is appended behind your URL. So if your URL says greatlearning.com, the final URL suffix says greatlearning.com/UTM campaign is equal to discovery sales, whatever your campaign name is. UTM ad set is whatever that is. So the final URL suffix is somewhere where you can add certain parameters. Here you can see that parameters. So this is for you to define what the parameter it is. So based on your URL, it just appends this suffix behind the URL, and with that you will be able to track certain parameters or add certain parameters. So you can use a separate URL for mobile if you want to. And the last step is to select the call to action. I'm just going to leave it as learn more, or you can even use something like book now or sign up. So this is going to be in English, and I'm going to add it to the ad group and create a campaign. So here it looks like we are ready with our first Google Discovery campaign. Let's go ahead and click on continue. So we have successfully created our first Google Discovery campaign. Congratulations on finishing it. I think you should right away get started and try yours too. I'm sure this is a very simple step-by-step procedure. All you have to do is follow the steps mentioned in this video, and you can easily create your first Google Discovery campaign. So let's have a quick look at how the campaign looks. So you can see that the campaigns, in the campaigns tab, I can see when I selected the campaign type as discovery, I can see this, or I can even remove this filter and I can see all my campaigns. If I select only enabled campaigns, I will be able to see the discovery campaign. I'm going to leave it at pause for now, but I also want to see what the campaign settings look like. Actually, I'll select all campaigns. Name contains discovery. So there's one campaign which is paused for now, but let's see what else. So you can see that because the campaign is paused, it says that the ad group is not eligible, but you can see the relevant metrics for the campaign once it's running here. So here you can see the cost per conversion basis the conversion action that you have defined. The clicks, impression, CTR, conversion rate, view through conversion. If you want to add further columns to this, you can go to the columns tab and click on the metrics that matter most to you. You can even save that as a set so that you know which are the metrics that matter most to you, and you can see that at one go every time. You can download these numbers so that you can analyze them on sheets or however you want to, or probably track them on a daily level. So this will help you download it as well. If you want to look at it at a detail level, day on day, hourly basis, campaign level, time level, whatever that is, you can go to detailed reports. You can click on this reports tab and go to detailed reports. Here you can see the ads. What are the ads that are running? You can add it as multiple ads as well. Suppose you can add another set like how we did, and you can look at it like an ad level data and see which is performing well. Here in the audiences, you can see which audience worked better. Was it a digital marketing custom or was it social media enthusiast? If one of them is not performing well, you could probably pause them. If you want to add more, you can click on this edit button and add another audience set. See, you can do that over here. You can also exclude a few audiences. Probably post, say, 2-3 weeks, you can see which audience, which demographics in this is working well. Probably pause a few, and you can see if the campaign performance increases. So it is a step-by-step procedure where you understand what is working, what is not working in your campaign, and basis that you scale the campaign. If there are any other changes, again, you can just quickly have a look at the locations. You can drill this down by state, city, etc. Whatever is that metric, you can again see how much was spent in each city. You can even look at the ad schedule, what time or hour of the day performed best for you, and basis that you can probably add an ad schedule. You can look at the change history here as to what changes were done in the campaigns when. So this gives you a summary of what the discovery campaign looks like, how to launch it, what are the metrics to monitor, and how to effectively use your audiences. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching this. Do let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video.